The sonar ping cuts through the darkness like a knife. 200 feet below the frigid Atlantic, the crew of U-549 freezes at their stations, hearts pounding, eyes wide. They've heard that sound before, the death song of Allied destroyers hunting German submarines. But this time, something is different. There's no rush of propellers overhead, no frantic scramble. The ping holds steady, locked, and unrelenting. Lieutenant Commander Kretsch grips the periscope mount, knuckles white. "Dive deeper," he whispers, but it's already too late. Above the waves aboard the USS Elmore, Executive Officer Lieutenant Konai studies the sonar screen with surgical precision. The green line pulses steadily. Target acquired. Range 300 yards, depth 200 feet. Unlike every depth charge attack before, this submarine hasn't vanished into the acoustic dead zone. The hunter hasn't gone blind. The Hedgehog crews stand ready. 24 spigot mortars bristle from the destroyer's bow like the spines of a mechanical beast. Each projectile weighs 65 pounds, carrying 35 pounds of torpex, 50% more powerful than TNT. And each is armed with a contact fuse that will only detonate on solid impact. The order comes crisp and clear. Fire. In less than 2 seconds, all 24 projectiles arc into the gray morning sky, then plunge into the Atlantic in a perfect circular pattern. They sink silently at 23 feet per second, 3 times faster than conventional depth charges. No explosions, no warning, just silent projectiles racing through the cold water toward their target. Inside U-549, someone whispers a prayer. 30 seconds of silence, then boom, 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 3 direct hits. The pressure hull crumples like paper. In minutes, the submarine is gone. This is the story of the weapon that changed submarine warfare forever, the Hedgehog. May 1941, Liverpool Bay. The destroyer HMS Westcott sits at anchor, its deck cluttered with what looks like an oversized porcupine made of steel tubes, 24 spigots arranged in 4 rows of 6, each angled precisely. The weapon has no official name yet, but the sailors have already called it Hedgehog. After the spiny mammal, its tubes resemble. Commander Charles Goodeve of the Royal Navy's Department of Miscellaneous Weapons Development watches from the dock. For 18 months, his team has worked on a radical idea, a forward-throwing anti-submarine mortar. Depth charges had become painfully ineffective. Destroyers could detect a U-boat on Azdic, close in, and then lose contact in the critical final 100 yards. The returning echo merged with the outgoing ping, leaving the submarine commander to operate in a blind spot. By the time the depth charges exploded, most U-boats had already escaped. Statistics were brutal. 5,174 British depth charge attacks in 2 years produced only 85 confirmed kills, 60 to 1. Goodeve's solution was elegant. Fire forward while the submarine remained visible on sonar. Contact detonation meant that a hit was fatal, and a miss produced no acoustic interference. The projectiles could be fired again immediately. On that May morning in Liverpool Bay, HMS Westcott fired the first test salvo at a known wreck. The results exceeded every prediction. The Hedgehog was born. German-type WWII U-boats had pressure hulls made of high-strength steel, about 22 millimeters thick, capable of withstanding 230 meters of depth. Every 10 meters added another atmosphere of crushing pressure. Standard depth charges exploded at preset depths, and water absorbed most of the shock. A U-boat could survive hundreds of attacks, its hull intact. Hedgehog projectiles changed everything. They detonated directly on contact with the steel, punching holes 3 to 4 inches in diameter. At depth, Those holes became death sentences measured in minutes. The engineering challenge was immense. Bombs with pointed noses skipped off water, spherical bombs tumbled unpredictably. Too light charges lacked power, heavy bombs sank too slowly. The breakthrough came from analyzing photographs of German submarines, calculating the critical gaps between decks and pressure hulls. The final design featured a flat nose to prevent skipping, a tubular tail for stability, and a spring-loaded contact fuse that armed after a short descent. Hit or miss, the Hedgehog performed flawlessly. Production began in late 1942. By November, the first Hedgehog-equipped destroyers were in service. The first confirmed kill came that same month in the Bay of Biscay. But the weapon's full potential revealed itself in the Pacific. May 1944, the Solomon Islands. Lieutenant Commander Walton Pendleton, captain of the destroyer Escort USS England, reads decoded Japanese messages again. Submarine I-16 is transporting rice to Japanese garrisons. Departure May 14, expected arrival May 19. The England, a Buckley-class destroyer escort with a crew of 186, carries one game-changing piece of equipment: a Mark 10 Hedgehog launcher. Pendleton's executive officer, Lieutenant John Williamson, has drilled the crew for months, turning them into a precision machine. Other captains might resent such rigorous discipline, but Pendleton recognizes talent and gives Williamson free rein. The England sails with two sister ships, USS George and USS Raby, with orders to intercept I-16. On May 19, sonar operator John Prock calls out contact at 1,500 yards. I-16, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Takuchi Yoshitaka, a veteran of the Japanese submarine service, dives to evade. 4 Hedgehog attacks miss. On the 5th run, Williamson adjusts for a deeper contact. 24 projectiles arc forward, and 30 seconds later, 4 to 6 direct hits. 2 minutes later, a massive underwater detonation rocks the England. Debris and oil begin surfacing, spreading across 6 square miles by morning. I-16's crew experiences a nightmare physics lesson. Water floods the forward compartments, compressing air, superheating it, and within minutes, the pressure hull implodes. 68 Japanese sailors die in less than 2 minutes. The England's crew is relentless. Over the next 12 days, they sink 5 submarines in 5 attacks, an unmatched 100% kill rate. Submarine picket lines across the Pacific are erased, Japanese intelligence crippled, and strategic decisions go disastrously wrong for the Imperial Navy. The Hedgehog's brilliance lay in 5 advantages: forward-firing capability while maintaining sonar contact, contact detonation, explosive efficiency, rapid sink rate, and circular pattern coverage. British depth charges required 60 attacks for 1 kill. Hedgehog attacks achieved 1 kill every 5 to 6 attacks. The USS England demonstrated the weapon's potential like no other ship in history. The legacy of the Hedgehog lives on. Modern anti-submarine warfare, rocket-propelled depth charges, homing torpedoes, and missile systems all owe their lineage to Goodeve's innovation. But the truth remains: the Hedgehog was just a tool. The crew made it lethal. Lieutenant John Williamson would later say that success wasn't about luck or superior weapons. It was about drilling the crew until every man executed his